to CDF News, where you can be updated with the new information of your high school. Tonight, we're gonna talk about how the carbon chemical reaction and how they affect the global warming. Let's go to the studio with your hosts, Ana and Dani.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome. I am Daniela Hernandez.
And I am Ana Ramirez.
Well, tonight, as you already know, we're going to talk about the carbon emission, carbon cycles, and all of the processes that affect our environment. You know, this remembers me to my chemistry class up in high school.
I know, with Miss Melania, right?
Yeah, she was so cool. I remember all their...
She was a sweet person.
Yeah, very sweet. Well, we were together in high school.
Yes.
So, well, now let's start. Well, tonight the first topic is the carbon cycle. We're going to see a chart, an image where you will see all the steps of the carbon cycle. So, let's go. Now, I am going to talk about the carbon cycle. This means how the carbon travels all around our environment, how it goes through the air, up to the earth, then to the ocean, water, etc. And, well, of course, between us, animals and plants. Let's see. Well, the carbon cycle, it has been affected these years. It has increased because of the production or release of fossil fuels to the atmosphere. This affects our environment, and many people don't know that, but it's true. And, well, also, when the carbon is already up here, the plants or the biosphere of the planet has the function of trapping all the carbon dioxide and then change it to oxygen. And that's how they do the process of photosynthesis. This helps us because we need oxygen. We do the opposite. We receive oxygen and exhale the carbon dioxide. Everything is part of this process, and as you can see, this air, earth, and water are involved.
I'm going to talk about gases and effects of CO2 on the atmosphere. One of the main effects of CO2 in the atmosphere is the greenhouse effect. This greenhouse effect does not only affect like Mexico or USA or Canada. It affects all Latin America, not only Latin America, just all the world. So we have to start like care about that. And the greenhouse effect is when we like... Now I'm going to talk about gases and effects of CO2 on the atmosphere. CO2 is considered a greenhouse gas. So greenhouse gas affects not only Mexico or USA or Latin America. It affects like all the world. So the greenhouse effect is like when we spread like a aerosol can, the particles go through the air and destroy the ozone, but also like construct another case, and that makes that when the sun rays enter to the air, well, it's like comes in, but it cannot like come back. They get trapped in the case of CO2. So that raises like the melting poles, like global warming, and so it like we are all dead. I know.
That in the last 100 years, the concentration of the CO2 in the atmosphere has increased a lot because of all the human activities. One of those are the burning of fossil fuels. In this chart, we can see that this concentration level was very low in the early 1700s, but in the last 100 years, beginning in the 1900s, the concentration has increased a lot because of the unconscious of the people. Half of the whole emissions that have been released to the atmosphere were in the 70s, when the industrial era began, and it affects, it does not only affect some places, it affects the whole world because we are living on it, and not only humans and animals too.
The main chemical reactions involved in this cycle. These are the breathing, photosynthesis, and combustion. These three chemical reactions help to the cycle to be the CO2 regulate in our atmosphere. So here we have the breathing, that is an exothermic chemical reaction because it's releasing energy. Photosynthesis, that is to regulate the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, is an endothermic chemical reaction because it needs energy to be developed. And the combustion, in this case of gasoline, is an exothermic chemical reaction because it releases energy and it's a combustion reaction. So these are the three main chemical reactions involved in the cycle of CO2.
My name is Yamari Santos and I am going to talk about the chemical reactions involved in the environment. So one of them is the photosynthesis, that here is the chemical reaction. Yeah. And the other is the combustion reaction that involves CHO plus oxygen plus carbon dioxide plus water and plus energy. And some effects of the combustion is the greenhouse effect, that the energy is like trapped in the atmosphere and it becomes the summer receiving hotter.
Okay, my conclusion of all this video and presentation for chemistry is that we have to be conscious of the amount of carbon dioxide that we are sending to the atmosphere. This affects us and affects the planet, and we are destroying it little by little. We have to change that and teach everybody that we have to be more ecological, and all the compounds and all that is involved, it's a little dangerous, so we must stop.
Well, the way that we can prevent the global warming to be increasing is save energy. Like when we are not in the classroom or in our room, we turn off the lights, turn off the computers when we're not using it, and save gasoline. If we don't have to go in car to a park, we can go walk and it's healthier. And well, that's my conclusion.
For my conclusion, I think that we have to stop the thing of combustion and burn out thing, because it is damaging all the atmosphere, and so it is affecting all our world.
We think that the global warming is a very big problem for our society, and we have to make conscious of it because it does not only affect us, it affects the whole world, the animals, the plants, all the living things, and we can't live this kind of place for our children or the future generations.
We have to understand that the greenhouse effect is not a bad thing. Actually, without it, it would not be life in our world. But we have to make conscience of how much CO2 are we releasing to the atmosphere, because it's killing our planet.